Hey guys, it's Ryan here from Explained, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be watching a horror movie called Carrie, which was released back in 2013. Let's get started. Remember, turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie revolves around the life of a shy and unassertive high school student named Carrie White, who despite being in the final year of school, has zero friends and has somehow lived a non-existent school life with no one ever paying attention to her. That, however, all changes one day when Carrie gets her first menstrual period while showering after gym class. Never having been taught or warned about this, Carrie begins to fear that she's bleeding to death. She starts calling out to her classmates for help who don't quite understand what Carrie's being scared of. But when they later find out that she's having her period, they start to make fun of her. Carrie gets tampons and sanitary pads thrown at her by almost all of her classmates. And the main perpetrator, Christine, records everything on her phone. Carrie's PE teacher, Miss Rita, comes to her rescue and takes her to the principal's office. She tries to make Carrie understand that what's happening to her body is normal and she doesn't need to worry about anything. When the school principal informs Carrie that her mother will come to pick her up, she starts to get nervous. When Carrie gets picked up by her mother, we see that Christine is showing the video she recorded earlier to her boyfriend. Carrie was raised by Margaret, a single mother who is overly religious and believes that menstruation is a sin. She believes that showering with other girls made Carrie think of lustful things, and her menstruation was a punishment for that. Carrie tries to make her mother understand that her body doesn't work that way, but Margaret isn't ready to listen to anything. She forcefully pushes Carrie inside a prayer closet and tells her to pray for forgiveness. Ever since her childhood, she was always put inside that closet by her mother for hours to pray for her sins, which has left her traumatized. Out of anger, Carrie bangs at the door, which leaves a huge crack on it. Margaret knows something about Carrie which she believes to be a force against the god. Meanwhile, Carrie's classmate, Sue, is really disturbed by what happened with Carrie, and also disappointed at herself for taking part in it. Her boyfriend Tommy tells her that maybe she should apologize to Carrie. But not everyone else is like Sue and Tommy. After not getting enough fun out of bullying Carrie, Christine uploads the video she took at school onto YouTube to inflict more embarrassment on Carrie. The next day at school, Miss Rita has found out that somebody has uploaded the video of Carrie online. As a punishment, she tells all the girls who took part in bullying Carrie to either endure boot camp style detention or get suspended. Christine argues with Miss Rita that what she did wasn't wrong and Carrie deserved all the humiliation. As a result of her rude behavior, Christine gets suspended, which means she'll not be able to attend school prom, which is just days away. Christine asks her friends to join in on her protest against Miss Rita, but none of her friends are ready to risk missing out on prom night. And that leaves Christina to be the only one prohibited from attending prom. The incident from yesterday has spread throughout the school, which Carrie isn't comfortable with. She gets stressed out by all the unnecessary attention, and as she looks at herself in the mirror, it starts to crack and break down into pieces. Carrie focuses on the broken pieces of the glass and it slowly starts to float in the air. Carrie begins to research her newfound power. She soon realizes that she has the power of telekinesis, which allows her to control anything without even touching it. During her class, Carrie gets called in front by her teacher to read a poem that she wrote. Carrie starts to read her poem and everyone else in the class starts to chuckle, and even the teacher makes fun of Carrie's poem. The only one to stand up for Carrie is Tommy, who calls out the teacher for being rude. Christina, on the other hand, has brought her father to the school to complain over Miss Rita suspending her. Her father wants the school to unsuspend her and allow her to attend the prom. But then Miss Rita brings up the video that Christine shot and uploaded online. She tells Christine's father that the video can not only cause problems for Christine in her future, but can also seriously hurt his own reputation. So Christine's suspension from school remains as it is. She goes to Sue and asks her why she didn't stand up for her. Sue tells her that what she did to Carrie was wrong, and she deserves the punishment. But Christine brings up the fact that Sue was also among the girls who were bullying Carrie that day. She tells Sue that she's only pretending to care for Carrie, but in reality, she's only concerned about going to prom with Tommy, so she shouldn't risk getting suspended and is now just pretending to be a good person. Sue goes to her house and sees the beautiful dress that she's been planning to wear to prom, but what Christine said to her has really gotten inside her head. She questions if she really felt bad for Carrie or if she was only concerned for herself. After realizing her powers, Carrie has slowly started to harness it. For once in her life, Carrie starts to feel powerful, but she knows it well that if her mother finds out about this, she will think of her as the devil, so she decides to not tell her anything. The next day at school, Sue asks Tommy to take Carrie to prom. She says that she wants to make everything right and make up for bullying Carrie. At first, Tommy doesn't agree to this, but he later gives in to Sue's wish. He goes up to Carrie and asks her to be his prom date. Carrie is shocked to hear this, and she starts to feel that all this is a prank, another attempt to make her a laughingstock. Miss Rita finds her crying alone and asks if anything's wrong, and Carrie tells her that she was asked to be a prom date by Tommy, and she feels that she's going to be made fun of. But Miss Rita tells her that maybe Tommy was serious about it and tries to make her feel confident about herself. She tells Carrie that she's just as beautiful as any other girl in school, but Miss Rita still has her doubts, so she asks Sue and Tommy if they're planning anything stupid. They answer that they're serious about this, and they want to make Carrie feel special and happy. Carrie later sees Tommy outside her house to ask her out once more. Carrie gets nervous thinking about what her mother will think if she sees her with Tommy. To get her to say yes, Tommy starts to compliment her on the poem that she read at class and promises to make her prom special. At last, Carrie agrees to go to prom with Tommy. Tommy leaves, promising to pick her up tomorrow, and Carrie's really happy and excited. So she goes to shop looking for a dress to wear at prom. When she gets back home, she sees her mother waiting for her. Margaret immediately takes her inside, and Carrie tells her that she was asked to go to prom. Carrie tells her mother that she doesn't need to worry about her and she won't do anything that her mother feels is wrong. But Margaret doesn't want to allow it. She warns Carrie that Tommy is just going to seduce her into sinning. She orders Carrie to go inside the prayer closet and pray. Carrie gets so frustrated by her mother that she unintentionally uses her power. Now that Margaret knows about her powers, Carrie feels that she has nothing to hide. She uses her power to lift her mother into the air. Margaret calls her a witch, and Carrie tries to make her understand that there's no such thing as witches or devils. Her power was probably passed down by her father's genes, but Margaret keeps calling her evil. The next day, Carrie begins to prepare her dress for prom, while Christine and her boyfriend are plotting to ruin Carrie's night. They break into the prom hall and install a bucket full of pig blood above the stage. Their plan is to dump the blood all over Carrie when she gets onto the stage. Poor Carrie, who's unaware of what's waiting for her, has already gotten into a beautiful dress. Margaret is still against the idea of Carrie going out with a guy and asks her to forget all about this. Tommy's arrived to pick her up, and Margaret tries to desperately stop Carrie from going out of the house, but Carrie uses her power to push her mother inside the prayer closet and locks it from the outside. When they arrive at the prom hall, Carrie gets nervous to step outside in front of all of her classmates, but Tommy assures her that everything will be okay and she has nothing to worry about. Carrie trusts Tommy, and she enters the prom hall with him. Tommy takes Carrie to dance with him, and Carrie feels really happy to experience all of this. The night is slowly starting to turn out to be the best time of her life. After their dance, the voting for prom king and queen begins. Carrie gets surprised to see her and Tommy's name in the voting ballot. Tommy tells her to vote for themselves, thinking that nothing bad will happen out of it. But what they don't know is that Christine has managed to rig the ballot box with the help of her friends. Christine texts Sue, taunting her that she's going to humiliate Carrie. Sue immediately heads out of her home to save Carrie from whatever it is that Christine has planned. Sue gets inside the hall, and just then the results announce that the prom king and queen are Carrie and Tommy. Carrie cannot believe that she actually won the title of prom queen. She looks extremely happy as she is slowly walking onto the stage. But right above it, Christine is waiting to release the bucket full of pig blood over Carrie. As Carrie and Tommy get on the stage, Sue sees Christine and her boyfriend with their hands on the bucket full of blood. She tries to warn Carrie, but Miss Rita fears that she's there to ruin Carrie's night, so she pushes Sue out of the hall and locks the main door. And just when Carrie is happy with how her special prom night has turned out to be, Christine's boyfriend releases the bucket and pours pig blood all over Carrie. Carrie gets covered with blood, and she looks at Tommy in confusion. Then the shower video which Christine took of her starts to play, inciting laughter from some of the people present inside the hall. Miss Rita comes close to Carrie to comfort her, but Carrie pushes her away with her power. Sue is witnessing all of this from outside, but she cannot find her way back in to help. As Christine and her boyfriend make their way out, the bucket gets loose and falls on Tommy's head, which instantly kills him. When Carrie sees the only person who treated her like a normal human being and who tried to make her feel special dead, she completely loses her mind. She uses all of her power to wreak havoc inside the hall. She closes the door on everyone that's trying to escape. She one by one kills everyone who laughed at her, everyone who made her life a living hell. She merges electric wire with leaking water to start a fire inside the hall. She intends on killing each and every one, but she spares Miss Rita before heading out. As the school starts to burn down, Carrie notices Christine and her boyfriend getting away in their car. She uses her power to block their way, and soon they find out that the only way out of town is through Carrie. Christine tells her boyfriend to run over Carrie, but they are easily stopped by Carrie's supernatural powers. As Christine tries to escape out of the car, Carrie locks her inside. She then lifts the car in the air and throws it at a gas station, before setting the whole place on fire once again. Carrie reaches her house to find out that her mother had gotten out of the prayer closet. She washes herself and puts on a new dress. She embraces her mother, saying that she was right about everything and she should have listened to her. Margaret asks Carrie to pray for forgiveness, and when Carrie gets down on her knees to pray, Margaret stabs her in the back. Carrie immediately uses her power to throw her mother away from her. But Margaret keeps stepping forward to kill her own daughter, claiming that the devil is inside of her. Carrie desperately tries to save herself from her mother, but she has no option left but to use her power to stop Margaret. Carrie ends up killing her mother with several sharp tools. After the death of her mother by her own hands, Carrie can't control her emotions. Just then, Sue arrives at her house to help her, but Carrie blames her to be one of the reasons behind how her life has turned out to be. She carries her mother's dead body and makes stones fall from the sky to crush the house. She intends to kill herself inside the house with her mother. Sue tries to help her, but Carrie senses that Sue is pregnant. Carrie decides to forgive her and save Sue and her child by throwing her out to safety. Carrie kisses her mother as she gets completely crushed inside the house. A few days later, Sue visits Carrie in her mother's grave. There she places a single white rose by her headstone, which has been vandalized with the words, "Carrie White burns in hell." Thanks so much for watching. Tell us your thoughts about the movie down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and do watch some of our other videos as well. And before you leave, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more movie recaps.